What's up, everybody? Well, I had an interesting request for a video, and it seemed like a very interesting idea for a video, so I decided to oblige and do it. Someone wanted to know how well the battery is holding up after a year plus of ownership, so I figured I would, instead of playing video games on it like I did, I'll do the one thing I haven't done yet, and we're just gonna go and unplug it. I'm gonna run it on silent mode, as you see here, which pretty much just downclocks it and whatnot, and makes it so it doesn't go into turbo mode either, to save a little bit more performance and battery. And then I'm also going to turn on battery saver if such a thing even exists in Windows 11, because that's what I used to do on 10. But I haven't really been on battery a lot since I got on Windows 11, so I don't even know if that exists, but I'm going to do that as well. Just do everything I can to get good battery life, but I'm not going to go into like that AMD tool and like put it onto that like 800 megahertz mode or any of that. For all we know, that doesn't do anything besides make your clocks horrible and still give you the same voltages and shit and get you horrible battery life on top of it. Who knows? So we're just going to do this. And then I figure instead of just having the camera on for the entire time, since none of my cameras would last that long, figure we'll just turn the thing on every hour. So I'm gonna go get my iPad and just turn a timer on. Speaking of which, I'll go get that now while I'm talking to you guys, since I am just using a microphone that's wireless. Doesn't matter where I am in the room, really. As long as I'm within range, it will definitely work and pick up stuff perfectly. And I have a windsock thingy on it, a dead cat thing, so it should be fine. So there we go. One iPad. So I can turn the timer on that. Once I unplug it, I'm not going to hit start until I unplug it, obviously. And then every hour I'll just turn it on. We'll see what kind of percentage it is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch some YouTube videos on it, because a lot of people would still want Wi-Fi and stuff on so they can still be connected to the internet. You could get a little bit more time if you had turned off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, like an extra 30, 45 minutes or something like that, possibly. But anyway, that's how we're going to test it. So that's all for explanation. So let's go start the test. I'm going to go unplug this thing, start the timer, start watching some YouTube videos, and we'll see how she does on the battery life. We'll see how many hours it can go just doing something like that. And let's see, it's also 3:08 right now, so we'll see what time it is by the time it's all done as well. Well, all right, guys, we've made it through our first hour. I just kind of let the video I was watching get done before I paused the video watching process, and I paused the timer while we're not watching the video, so we're not gonna, have the timer going while I'm sitting here talking to you, not doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is watching YouTube videos. So an hour and 3 minutes and 45 seconds so far is how long we've gone. So real quick, let me just go over to, well, if I can find my freaking mouse. It's kind of hard to see with these lights on. All right, so we're at 73% battery after the first hour. So a little lower than I was expecting, but hey, it is what it is. So now I'm gonna go back to watching what was in my list. So we'll see what we're at the next hour. So back to watching YouTube video. All right, we are 2 hours into our little YouTube marathon here, testing out the battery life, just watching YouTube videos. So let's see where we're at now at the 2 hour mark. So right now we're at 44% already at 2 hours. So yeah, man, we're gonna struggle to get barely over 3 hours. What the fuck? This thing used to get like 8, 9 hours doing the same thing. Wonder what the hell happened. Well, still, let's go back to what we're doing and see what we end up with at the end of all of it. As you can see, we still got battery saver on and everything. We're using Wi-Fi and not using the, Ethernet port. That would save a little battery, but I wasn't thinking that that would be that bad. Anyway, though, let's go and get back to watching those YouTubes, and we'll see how much longer this thing can go for. Well, all right, guys. We didn't get anywhere near what I used to get. We only got 3 hours and 21 minutes. Now, I did notice about 2 hours in that it was doing videos at 4K and whatnot. So that might have affected battery a teeny bit, but we're talking maybe 10 minutes of battery. So we might have made it to 3 hours 30 if we weren't doing that, just a guess. And we're at 5% battery, which is where I like to stop, which it says 10 minutes left in Windows. So in actuality, you probably only have 5 minutes of video watching left. So this is where I would just shut it down while you have a chance until you get to a power source. But then I also thought before, and instead of just ending the video now, I wanted to compare it to how the exact same test on the Steam Deck and on this tablet right here, just so we can get a comparison, because they might not do that much better. Now the iPad should, but it's a little old. It's from 2020. It's an iPad Pro 2020 edition. So I figure we'll do those real quick too. But for now, I'm gonna plug this guy back in so he can charge, and I'm gonna go grab the Steam Deck and sign into my YouTube and all that stuff on the desktop mode, leave it plugged in until then, and then we'll get started and see how the Steam Deck does, and we'll finish the whole whole video up by doing the exact same thing on this iPad, because I can use my phone as a timer in the meantime. So I'm gonna go off and do that now, and then we'll come back and turn the camera on. Well, all right, got the Steam Deck all charged up to 100% battery, so now I'm gonna go on YouTube on the desktop here, and we're just gonna go watch YouTube videos until we get to the same 5% battery, and we'll see how long it can go. This time, so I can have it, oh man, it's not so large, I'm just gonna use my phone as a stopwatch here, so I'll hit start the second I start watching YouTube videos, and then we will stop the second we're at 5% battery. Wonder how long it can go. Can it do better than 3 hours and 21 minutes like the laptop? Hopefully, but maybe not. Only one way to find out. Let's jump in and find out, and we'll be back after the first hour and see where we're at battery-wise. Well, all right, we've just crossed over the first hour of the Steam Deck YouTube watching a little marathon here, and so far, let's go see what we're at for battery. We're at 78% battery. It says we got 4 hours and 32 minutes remaining. So let's go see how much longer it actually lasts. So far, so good. That's still doing better than the other computer was. That thing was at 73% after an hour. This one's at 78, so almost 10% more, but it is a much lower power unit with a much lower range screen and all that stuff, so that is probably why, but I'm still curious to see what it ends up with at the very end, so let's get back to watching videos. Well, all right, guys, we just got to our 2-hour mark, a little over, so let's see how we're doing on battery. We're at 61% now, and we've got 2 hours and 58 minutes remaining, according to what it says, but why don't we go and find out if that's true or not. Maybe we'll get a little more, get a little less, who knows? Maybe it'll be right on the damn money. But in any case, it's doing quite a bit better so far, I'd guess, than the Asus, but I was expecting that. I'm just kind of curious as to how many hours will it beat it by? Is it going to be like a 4 hour and some change, 5 hours and some change, what? And then what will the iPad do? That's the other one that's kind of got a big screen, but it's got low power parts in it, just like the Steam Deck. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see, but let's get back to the little marathon. Well, off camera, you guys don't see that, but I will get back to watching the YouTube videos. Hey, you don't go to sleep. And then we'll come back in another hour and see how we're doing. Well, all right, we've made it to the hour marker of 3 hours so far on the Steam Deck here on our YouTube watching. So let's see what we're at for battery. We're at 45% battery, and it says we have 3 hours and 34 minutes remaining, but it has been sitting there for a second not playing video, so that's probably not accurate, but we're doing pretty good. 20 minutes, it's definitely gonna beat the other laptop though. If it's at 45% and it's at 3 hours, the other one made it 3 hours and 20 minutes. Maybe it could have made it 3 hours and 30 minutes tops, but I'm very curious, how long will this last? So let us go and hop back to watching, and we'll have to wait and see. So far, so good though, but it's a low-powered freaking little mini tablet basically in the palm of your hand, so it should get good battery life when you're not gaming and doing anything intensive, but I was curious to see how it compared. So anyway, back to the watching. Well, all right, guys, we've got to about 4 hours and 38 minutes. Went a little over my 4 hour mark. Got into watching some videos, and we're now at 14% battery. And it says we got about an hour and 9 minutes left, but that's probably being a little overzealous. But we'll see, maybe it's right on the money. But now, why don't we go back to just watching videos, and we'll wait till we get around that 5% mark, and then we will try to see what we're at. And hopefully it can make it another hour or so. We'll see. All right, guys, we just hit the 5% battery mark. Well, it dropped down to 4 while I was getting this shot ready, but it says 19 minutes remaining. I would say no more than 10 minutes remaining at this point, but we made it 5 hours and 5 minutes on the Steam Deck doing the same thing. So now it is pretty late. It's now 12:36, so I'm gonna wait to do the iPad part tomorrow, because that'll probably be like another 5 or 6 hours, and I don't want to be up till 6 a.m. No way. So, well, lucky you won't have to wait, but now we'll just cut back in when I get up tomorrow. Well, all right, it is the next day. So now I'm going to do the same test that I did on the laptop and the Steam Deck on this iPad. It's an iPad Pro, it's a 2020 edition, so that's all there really needs to know. So we're just gonna go on YouTube and we're just gonna watch videos at the same 1080p resolution. That's what I did with the Steam Deck. I let it do auto for 2 hours, just like I did on the laptop, even though that sounds weird. I just wanted to keep it as the test as close together as I could. So did that on the Steam Deck. So on here we'll do auto for 2 hours, and then we'll make it do 1080p for the remainder, just like we did on the others. That way all the tests are exactly the same. And we'll see how long this guy can go. Now, generally speaking, I would assume that the tablet with the biggest battery would win, but it also has an enormous screen that probably sucks up some battery, you would think. So I'm kind of curious to see, can it actually beat the Steam Deck and get more than 5 hours? I'm willing to bet it can. I would think it could get like 6, 7 hours of just video watching. Hell, maybe even more. But hell, we'll have to find out. Right now it's 12:32, so let's just start watching YouTube videos on it and see how long it goes before it conks out. We'll just come and check up on it every hour or so just to see how it's doing. So let's go get started. Well, all right, have to try this again. I pretty much was 7 hours and 30 minutes into the test with the iPad, and then I had a power outage yesterday from a bunch of heavy snow and a snowstorm that came through. So now it is Sunday. Yeah, I think this all happened on Friday night. So now I have to start all over again. So we're just gonna sit here and watch some YouTube videos the same way we did on the Asus G15 Vantage and the Steam Deck. We're just gonna watch the videos for 2 hours. We'll let it be on auto, and then after that we'll limit it to 1080p because that's what the laptop was doing. So it seems fair to make them all do the same resolution, just to see what kind of battery life they get, you know, with the same stuff on. Now, obviously, this one's probably going to obviously destroy both the Steam Deck and the laptop, but I'm curious by how much. How long can you really just watch YouTube on an iPad Pro 2020? That's what it is. It's got 6 gigs of RAM. It's got, I think, a 6-core processor, something like that. It's the 128 gigabyte model. I didn't really feel like I needed much more space than that. But anyway, that's about it for specs. So now I'm just going to go start the timer and start watching some YouTube videos. So let's go get into it and see how long this guy goes. I'm probably going to be fucking watching videos till midnight. We'll see. But anyway, let's go find out how it does. Well, all right, guys. Instead of coming back every hour for this thing, since it gets such insane battery life, I decided to just write down what it's gotten so far and decided to turn the camera back on at 3 hours. So at 3 hours, we're down to 80%. We'll go type that in. So now we're at 80%. At hour 1, it was at 98. Hour 2, 87. And now at hour 3, 80. So we'll come back in 3 hours and some change or something like in 3 hours. And then, yeah, see how it's doing then. Because if I keep doing it every hour, we'd come back and do this like 20 times, and that'd be a little stupid and repetitive. So since this gets much better battery life, why not just do it every 3 hours or so until we get down to the one wire and get down to like the red. We'll get down to 5% battery just like we did on the others. So anyway, back to the YouTube. Well, all right, guys, we just reached the 6 hour mark here. Just pretty much shut the camera off, pause thing there, and we are at 6 hours and a minute. And so far, we're at 52%. Let's just type that in real quick so we remember. Boom. All right. So not too bad. 6 hours in, and we're still got half battery left. So shit, this should last me all the way till after midnight, 1 o'clock, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, about midnight-ish, a little bit after. Cool. Well, still, we'll go for another 3 hours or so. It'll probably be about 9 o'clock, and we'll see what we got for battery then. So, all right, another 3 hours has passed. Well, I've just been watching YouTube videos, and now we are down to 31% battery after freaking 9 hours. So we still have 30% battery, basically. The 1% I don't really count, because we're stopping at 5% anyway, so in reality, we don't have. Well, there we go. It just dropped down to 30 now, but take away, we only have 25%, basically, because we were only going to stop at 5. In any case, though, still doing very good. I mean, while the power was out, I pretty much did use this thing just to, like, entertain myself. Played like a couple games on the laptop. Luckily, before the storm came, I powered it up to 100% battery. The iPad, since I was doing that test, though, I just had to plug a battery backup little thing into it, like a 20,000 milliamp hour little battery backup. Doesn't charge it very fast, but it'll slowly get it up to 100% and then just kind of keep it charged as I had, like, Hulu, Netflix, and all that shit running. But anyway, though, why don't I get back to seeing how long it can go on YouTube, and hopefully it can go another like 3 hours or so. We'll see. It should be able to, but let's go find out. Well, all right, guys, that is about it. We got down to 5%, and then it starts dropping really rapidly. So now we're already down to 3%, but we ended up with 12 hours and 13 minutes. So that thing goes for a long time. Was hopeful during the power outage at least. But in any case, that is about it for this video. We got to see how all of the different things did at just watching videos. I think the laptop ended up at, what was it, 3 hours and 24 minutes or something like that. The Steam Deck was at 5 hours and 12 minutes. And then this guy was at 12 hours and 13 minutes. So we all knew the iPad was gonna win, but anyway, it's on to 2% now, having to be at this high brightness. So I wanna end this video and go plug it in before it completely dies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully this is exactly what the guy wanted. So until the next video, peace out, guys.